Hello everyone, welcome to the U.S. Immigration. Breaking news. A wave of rare optimism is sweeping across the immigration community this week, and for thousands of families, it feels like the first real sign of progress in a long and difficult year. At a time when many applicants were losing hope while watching their cases sit in silence, something finally shifted. Long-pending petitions began to move, long-delayed interviews were suddenly scheduled, and long-awaited approvals landed in mailboxes across the country and around the world. For the first time in months, people felt like their cases were not just sitting in a digital void, they were moving forward. And tonight on USA State, we're breaking down every update, reshaping the final weeks of 2025. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe, like, and share so you never miss the latest national immigration updates delivered straight to your phone. The week started with an unexpected momentum inside USCIS. Applicants across multiple categories reported that their online case status changed after months of inactivity. Family-based green card applicants, especially spouses, parents, and immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, noticed that their files were being actively reviewed again. Many were stunned to receive updates that had been completely absent for months, even years. A number of applicants even received green card approvals without an interview. While interview waivers do happen, they have been far less common this year due to policy changes and staffing shifts. Immigration attorneys say the sudden wave of approvals may be linked to U.S. citizenship and immigration services preparing for the upcoming 2026 fee schedule transition. Agencies often push to reduce pending workloads before major structural or fee-related changes, and this pattern seems consistent with movement observed in past years. For families who have been separated or living in uncertainty, this sudden acceleration offered a sense of relief many thought they wouldn't feel before 2026. Work permit applicants also saw encouraging developments. Processing times for employment authorization documents improved across several categories. Individuals applying through adjustment of status, certain humanitarian programs, and student-based categories experienced faster approvals, some arriving weeks or even months earlier than normal. Many applicants who were at risk of losing their ability to work now feel reassured. Sources familiar with internal staffing adjustments believe U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services temporarily reassigned officers to help reduce EAD backlogs before the end of the year, allowing thousands of people to maintain continuity in employment and life planning for households depending on a single work permit to pay bills and support families. These faster approvals came as a huge emotional and financial relief. The good news was not limited to those inside the United States. The National Visa Center also released updates that brought long-awaited clarity to applicants abroad. The NVC's document review timelines improved significantly, marking one of the quickest review periods of the entire year. Applicants who had been stuck waiting for documentarily qualified status for weeks suddenly received notifications that their cases had been approved and forwarded for visa interview scheduling. In many regions, this development was a breakthrough that families had been wishing for since early 2025. Adding to that momentum, several U.S. embassies and consulates, some known for extremely long wait times, expanded their interview availability for the final weeks of December and the early part of January. Even modest increases in available appointments can make a major difference for families who've been separated for years. Some applicants were able to secure interview dates far earlier than expected, and this news spread quickly across immigrant communities who have been watching visa delays with concern. These improvements may reflect internal efforts by the State Department to stabilize operations before the start of the new year. Beyond scheduling improvements, many applicants abroad reported smoother interactions with consular staff. Email responses were quicker, rescheduling requests were handled with more flexibility, and officers allowed clearer pathways for submitting missing documents. Although these may seem like small procedural upgrades, anyone who has dealt with consular delays knows how meaningful even minor improvements can be. These signs indicate a real effort within the State Department to reduce backlogs and streamline the visa application journey after several challenging years. Another source of relief came from the travel landscape. Although national security discussions continue in Washington regarding potential adjustments to travel screening procedures, there has been no expansion of travel restrictions. Many lawful permanent residents, visa holders, and students feared sudden holiday travel complications, but officials clarified that any future policy change would involve detailed implementation frameworks, meaning nothing abrupt would occur without clear notice. This announcement eased anxiety for thousands of travelers who need to visit family abroad during the holiday season and return safely to the United States. Inside the country, adjustment of status applicants also saw movement. Field offices across multiple states scheduled interviews earlier than expected, signaling that USCIS is opening additional interview slots to prevent a backlog surge in January. Some applicants reported same-week updates after months of no activity, demonstrating that certain field offices are working aggressively to complete as many cases as possible before the year ends. Families watching their cases sit untouched for months said this sudden energy inside the system felt like the first sign of life in a long time. The visa bulletin added another layer of cautious optimism. While the changes were modest, several employment-based categories moved forward, which is an important shift after months of stagnation. Analysts tracking these movements believe that if the trend continues into early 2026, applicants in backlog-heavy categories such as EB2 and EB3 may finally see steady progress again. Even a small forward movement signals that unused visa numbers are being efficiently allocated, which is essential for long-term backlog reduction. There were also notable developments within the judicial system. Several courts issued decisions that indirectly benefit immigrants, especially those affected by administrative delays or technical errors. These rulings reinforce the principle that immigration agencies must follow fair and consistent procedures when evaluating cases. Although these decisions may not draw widespread media attention, they play a crucial role in shaping how cases are handled behind the scenes. For applicants dealing with errors, unexplained delays, or requests for evidence that did not align with policy guidelines, these rulings serve as an important reminder that fairness and due process remain essential elements of the immigration system. Taken together, these updates have made this week feel significantly different from the rest of 2025. For much of the year, the national conversation around immigration has centered on slow processing times, shifting policies, heightened security reviews, and mounting backlogs. Families waiting abroad felt stuck, applicants inside the U felt uncertain, and many feared their cases were not moving at all. But this week brought a breath of fresh air, a sense that agencies are finally pushing forward instead of falling behind. As we approach the end of the year, applicants should take advantage of this positive momentum. Make sure your online USCIS account is updated, check your NVC portal regularly, respond quickly to requests for evidence, and stay prepared for interview scheduling. With agencies working to clear as many cases as possible before the 2026 transition, the next several weeks may bring more movement. For families separated by borders, workers awaiting employment authorization, and students hoping to maintain their status, these small but meaningful improvements offer encouragement during a time of year when hope matters most. While immigration processing remains complex and unpredictable, this week has shown that progress is not only possible, it is happening. Thank you for watching U.S. Immigration Hub. We remain committed to bringing you the most accurate, factual, and policy-compliant immigration updates every day. For trusted information on visitor visas, work visas, student visas, green cards, family immigration, and employment-based categories like EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, stay connected with us. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like, and share so you never miss an update. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you in the next video.